The aroma of sizzling tortillas and roasted peppers drifted into the chilly evening air as Maya leaned over the small grill inside her battered food truck. Her hands moved swiftly, chopping, stirring, plating, as the endless line of hungry office workers snaked down the street. It was her busiest hour. The food truck, flavor and soul, was her lifeline, her dream carved out of struggle. She had started it with borrowed money after her mother's passing, determined to keep her promise, never give up, no matter how hard life became. Her hair, tied into a messy bun, had strands falling loose as sweat trickled down her forehead. She wiped it away with the back of her hand and shouted, "Order 46, your tacos are ready." The crowd surged, impatient and noisy. Maya's heart raced to keep up. Running this truck meant survival. If she failed, she and her younger brother Ethan would lose everything. Then came a moment, a silence that cut through the chatter. She looked up from the counter and saw a man step into the line. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a tailored black suit that looked far too expensive for a food truck queue. His presence seemed out of place among the hurried employees with their backpacks and wrinkled shirts. His watch gleamed under the streetlight, and his posture carried authority. People glanced at him curiously, whispering, but he stood calmly, his eyes fixed on the menu scribbled in chalk above her head. Maya frowned. She had seen many types of customers, but this man, he looked like he had never stood in a line for street food in his life. Probably some spoiled executive slumming it for fun, she thought bitterly, and dismissed him. She had no time to give extra attention to rich men who could eat anywhere. The line moved quickly, and soon he stood right in front of her. Maya barely looked up. "What'll it be?" she asked, scribbling down the next order. 3 carne asada tacos. His voice was low, smooth, commanding, but there was something else in it. Something familiar. Maya glanced up briefly and froze. His eyes, deep brown, intense, locked onto hers. A strange shiver ran down her spine. She didn't know why, but those eyes felt like they belonged to a memory she had buried long ago. "Anything else?" she asked curtly, shaking off the thought. She couldn't get distracted now. "That depends." He leaned slightly closer, his lips barely moving as he whispered, "Still remember me?" Maya's heart skipped a beat. The spatula almost slipped from her hand. Her mind reeled. No, it couldn't be. Not him. Not after all these years. She forced a laugh. "Sorry, you must have the wrong person." She quickly turned, pretending to focus on the sizzling meat, though her hands trembled. But the man didn't look away. His gaze burned into her, steady, almost pleading. The line of customers behind him grew restless, but he didn't care. When she slid his plate of tacos toward him, she expected him to leave. Instead, he stayed by the truck, watching her every move as though searching for something lost. Maya tried to ignore it, but her chest tightened. That whisper had unlocked something inside her. Years ago, before her mother's illness, before the food truck, before life became a relentless storm, there had been someone. A boy. Her best friend in high school. They had shared dreams, secrets, laughter under starlit skies. He had promised he'd come back for her when he left for college on a scholarship. But then he vanished without a word, swallowed by the wealthy world he belonged to. His name had haunted her, Adrian. She pushed the memory away. No, it's impossible. That boy is gone. She scolded herself for even entertaining the thought. But as the suited man bit into a taco, a small smile tugged at his lips, the same smile she remembered from summers long ago. Her pulse quickened. Could it be? Night deepened, and the crowd dwindled. Maya wiped down the counter, exhausted, her brother Ethan dozing on a crate nearby. She thought she was finally free to close when she noticed him again, the man in the suit, standing by the streetlight, still waiting. She sighed. "Look, sir, if you want more tacos, we're closing." He stepped closer, his expression softening. "Maya, it's me. Adrian." The name hit her like a thunderclap. She froze, her rag falling from her hand. Her throat tightened. "No, you left." You never came back. Adrian wouldn't be here. I didn't have a choice, he said quickly, desperation edging his voice. My family sent me abroad. I tried writing, but your letters, they never reached me. By the time I came back, you were gone. I searched everywhere. Maya, I've thought about you every single day. Her chest ached. She wanted to scream, to tell him how much his absence had broken her, how she had cried into her pillow the night she realized he wasn't coming back. But the walls she had built around her heart were strong. She shook her head. People like you don't stand in lines for tacos. You've built your empire. I've been here scraping by. We don't belong in the same world anymore. Adrian's jaw tightened. Yes, I built an empire. But what good is it if I've lost the only person who ever saw me for who I was, not for my money? You think I care about this suit, this watch, these titles? I stood in that line tonight because I wanted to see you. Just you. Tears stung her eyes, but she blinked them away. I don't need pity, Adrian. I run this truck to keep a roof over my brother's head. That's my life now. I can't get distracted by fairy tales. Adrian stepped forward, his voice trembling. This isn't a fairy tale. It's real. I let you slip away once. I won't do it again. Let me help. Let me be here. Not as a CEO, but as the boy you once knew. For a long moment, Maya stared at him, torn between anger and longing. Her heart wanted to believe, but her mind screamed caution. Ethan stirred and rubbed his eyes. Maya? Who's he? Adrian knelt down, his stern features softening as he smiled gently at the boy. I'm an old friend. Someone who cares about your sister very much. Something in his tone melted Maya's resistance. For years she had carried her burdens alone, never daring to lean on anyone. But tonight, seeing Adrian like this, not as a millionaire, but as the boy she once loved, she felt the cracks in her walls widen. Still, she whispered, almost to herself, why now? Why after all this time? Adrian's voice broke. Because I couldn't bear another day without you. When I saw you here, cooking, working so hard, I realized you're still the same Maya. Strong, brave, beautiful. And I knew. I had to fight for you. Her tears finally fell, splashing onto the counter. She looked into his eyes and saw not wealth, not power, but truth. The same truth she had seen in him all those years ago. Slowly, Maya stepped out from behind the truck. Adrian reached for her hand, hesitant, as if afraid she might pull away. But she didn't. Their fingers intertwined, and for the first time in years, she allowed herself to hope. The street around them was quiet now, the food truck dark, the world holding its breath. Adrian whispered once more, just like he had at the counter, still remember me? Maya's lips curved into a trembling smile as she nodded. How could I ever forget? And in that fragile, beautiful moment, two lost souls found each other again, not as a poor girl and a millionaire CEO, but as Maya and Adrian, the boy and girl who had once promised forever.